7 Secrets of Mental Strength. Have you ever felt like life just keeps knocking you down? Like no matter how hard you try, something always gets in the way. You start something new, maybe a goal, a dream, a challenge, and at first you're motivated. You're pumped. You tell yourself, this time it's gonna be different. But then, reality hits. Stress. Failure, self-doubt, rejection. The weight of expectations. And before you know it, you're back to square one, wondering why you can't seem to push through like other people do. But here's the truth. No one tells you. It's not about how smart you are. It's not about talent. It's not even about how hard you work. It's about mental strength. The ability to keep going even when everything in you is screaming to quit. The good news? Mental strength isn't something you're born with. It's something you build, step by step, moment by moment, decision by decision. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how. What you're about to hear are 7 powerful secrets, principles that separate the mentally weak from the mentally unstoppable. These are the same strategies used by elite athletes, top CEOs, Navy SEALs, and people who refuse to let life break them. And by the end of this video, you're going to walk away with a mindset so strong, so unshakable, that no setback, no failure, no amount of self-doubt will ever have power over you again. Are you ready? Then let's begin. Secret number 1. Embrace discomfort. Why you must run towards pain. All right, let's get straight to it. The first secret to mental strength is probably the hardest for most people to accept. But once you do, once you truly understand it, it will change everything. Here it is. You have to stop avoiding discomfort. I mean it. You have to stop running from pain. Stop looking for shortcuts. Stop wishing life were easier. Because the strongest people in the world? They do the exact opposite. They seek out discomfort. They run towards the hard things. They lean into challenges instead of trying to escape them. Why? Because growth only happens in pain. Think about it. How does a muscle get stronger? By lifting heavier weight. How does an athlete become a champion? By pushing past their limits, again and again. How does anyone get better at anything? By doing the hard, uncomfortable things until they become second nature. But most people, they avoid discomfort like it's the plague. They quit the moment things get tough. They say, this is too hard. I don't feel like it. And that's exactly why they stay weak. The mindset shift that changes everything. Listen to this carefully. Every time you feel discomfort, whether it's physical pain, emotional struggle, or mental exhaustion, you have a choice. You can either run from it, or you can use it. And the people who are mentally unbreakable, they choose to use it. They rewire their minds to see discomfort as a sign of growth, not a sign of failure. Instead of thinking, this is too hard, they think, this is where I get stronger. Instead of thinking, I can't do this, they think, I haven't mastered it yet, but I will. Personal story. How I used to run from discomfort and how it kept me weak. Let me be real with you. There was a time when I avoided discomfort at all costs. If something felt too hard, I'd quit. If I wasn't immediately good at something, I'd make excuses. I told myself, maybe I'm just not meant for this. But then I hit a moment where I had no choice but to face discomfort. Insert personal story here. Something where you had to push through extreme discomfort to grow. Example. Training for something difficult. Overcoming a personal fear. Hitting rock bottom and climbing out, etc. And you know what happened. At first, it sucked. It was painful. Every part of me wanted to quit. But I didn't. And on the other side of that struggle, I discovered something incredible. I didn't just survive, I became stronger than I ever thought possible. How you can start training yourself for mental strength. You don't need to be a Navy SEAL or climb Mount Everest to build this mindset. You just need to start doing things that make you uncomfortable. Wake up earlier than you want to. Push through the last set at the gym, even when your body screams to stop. Have the hard conversation instead of avoiding it. Do the work, even when you don't feel motivated. Every time you lean into discomfort instead of running from it, you're rewiring your brain for mental toughness. Action step for you today. I want you to do one thing. Pick something uncomfortable and face it head on. It could be a cold shower, a tough workout, or tackling a task you've been avoiding. It doesn't matter what it is, as long as it challenges you. And when you feel that moment of discomfort, smile, because that's the moment you're getting stronger. Pause, let it sink in. Got it? Good. Now, let's move on to secret number 2. Secret number 2. Rewrite your inner dialogue. The power of self-talk. Now, let me ask you something. Would you let a stranger stand next to you all day and tell you that you're not good enough? That you're a failure? That you'll never be successful? No? Then why do you let your own mind do it? Because that's exactly what's happening. Every day, most people sabotage themselves with their own thoughts. They tell themselves, I'm not smart enough. I'll never be successful. I don't have what it takes. And then they wonder why they feel stuck. Your words shape your reality. Here's the truth. Your brain believes what you repeatedly tell it. If you keep telling yourself you're weak, you'll start acting weak. If you keep telling yourself you're not good enough, you'll start making choices that prove it. But if you start telling yourself a different story, if you start speaking to yourself like someone who's powerful, disciplined, and unstoppable, your mind will start to believe that too. This isn't just motivational talk, it's science. Studies have shown that positive self-talk actually rewires the brain. Top athletes, Navy SEALs, and world-class performers all use this technique to push past their limits. Why? Because the voice inside your head is either your greatest weapon or your worst enemy. And if you want mental strength, you need to make it your weapon. How I rewired my own self-talk. I wasn't always mentally strong. I used to let my own mind destroy me. If I failed at something, my inner voice would say, "See, you're a failure." If something went wrong, I'd think, "It's because I'm not good enough." And because I believed those thoughts, I lived them. I stayed stuck. But then, I learned a trick that changed everything. Whenever a negative thought popped into my head, I'd catch it, and then I'd replace it with something stronger. For example, I'm not good enough. I am capable. I will figure this out. I can't do this. I haven't mastered it yet, but I will. I always fail. Every failure makes me stronger. At first, it felt fake, but over time, my brain started believing it. And so did I. How you can do this right now. Here's what I want you to do. 1. Write down 5 negative things you tell yourself. 2. Rewrite each one as a powerful statement. 3. Say them out loud every single day until they become your truth. Because here's the thing. Your mind is listening to everything you say. Make sure it's something worth believing. Secret number 3. Control the uncontrollable. How to become emotionally resilient. Let me tell you something that most people don't want to hear. Life isn't fair. Bad things happen to good people. Plans fall apart. People betray you. You work hard for something and still fail. That's reality. Most people spend their whole lives fighting this truth, wasting energy on things they can't control, complaining about what went wrong, and staying stuck in a cycle of frustration. But mentally strong people, they focus only on what they can control. Why do some people stay calm in chaos? Have you ever noticed how some people never seem to break, no matter what happens to them? They lose their job, and instead of panicking, they start planning their next move. They go through a breakup, and instead of drowning in self-pity, they work on themselves. They face obstacles, and instead of complaining, they adapt. What makes them different? They don't waste energy on things they can't control. Instead, they focus 100% of their attention on what they can control, because that's where real power comes from. The circle of control, mindset, shift. Here's a simple way to train yourself to be mentally unshakable. Imagine 2 circles. The outer circle, things you can't control, other people's opinions, the economy, unexpected setbacks, the past. The inner circle, things you can control, your reactions, your mindset, your effort, your habits. Most people live in the outer circle, constantly worrying, complaining, and feeling powerless. But the strongest minds stay in the inner circle, because that's where real change happens. The moment you shift your focus away from what you can't control and fully onto what you can, your stress levels drop, your confidence rises, you become unshakable. Personal story. The moment I learned this the hard way. There was a time when I wasted so much energy trying to control things that were never in my hands. Insert personal story. A situation where you tried to control the uncontrollable, maybe obsessing over someone else's actions, stressing about an unfair situation, or struggling with an unexpected setback. I kept replaying it in my head. I kept asking, why is this happening to me? But no matter how much I thought about it, nothing changed. And then I had a realization. I can't control this situation, but I can control how I respond to it. So I made a decision. Instead of being reactive, I became proactive. Instead of wasting energy on the problem, I put all my focus into what I could do next. And that decision, it changed everything. How to build emotional resilience. Right now, next time you feel overwhelmed, ask yourself, 1. What's in my control? 2. What's out of my control? 3. How can I shift 100% of my focus onto what I can do? Because when you do that, something incredible happens. You stop being a victim of life, and you start being the one in control. Pause. Let that sink in. Now, let's move on to secret number 4. Secret number 4. Develop laser-like focus. Why most people fail at this? I need you to hear me on this. Your attention is the most valuable thing you have. Not money. Not time. Your focus. Because whatever you focus on shapes your reality. But in today's world, most people have the attention span of a goldfish. Constant distractions. Notifications. Social media. Dopamine addiction. Their brains are wired to chase instant gratification instead of deep focus. And that's why most people never achieve their goals. But mentally strong people, they do something different. They train themselves to focus like a sniper. The science of why focus. Power. Here's the truth. Your brain can't multitask. Every time you switch between apps, check your phone, or get distracted, your brain loses focus, and it takes up to 25 minutes to fully regain it. Now imagine how much productivity, creativity, and mental energy you're losing every single day just because you can't stay focused. That's why successful people guard their focus, like their life depends on it. Because in many ways, it does. Personal story. How I used to be distracted. 24/7. There was a time when I couldn't focus for more than 5 minutes without checking my phone. Insert personal story. Maybe you struggled with procrastination, felt overwhelmed by distractions, or couldn't finish what you started because of constant interruptions. I was constantly busy but never productive. I was working hard but not getting anywhere. And then I learned something that changed everything. The secret weapon. Deep work. The most powerful way to build mental strength is to train your focus like a muscle. Here's how. Step 1. Set deep work blocks. Work in 90-minute focus sessions with 0 distractions. No phone, no notifications. Just pure focus. Step 2. Eliminate low-value distractions. Unfollow accounts that waste your time. Turn off notifications. Guard your focus like your future depends on it, because it does. Step 3. Train yourself to love boredom. If you can't sit still without reaching for your phone, your brain is addicted to dopamine. Break the addiction by learning to sit in silence. At first it will be hard, but over time your brain will adapt, your focus will sharpen. And you'll start achieving things most people never will. Action. Step for you. Today, I want you to try this. Pick one task that matters. Set a timer for 90 minutes. Work on it with 0 distractions, no phone, no social media. No multitasking, just pure focus. Do this every day, and you'll be 10x more productive than 99% of people. Secret number 5. Build unbreakable discipline. The 1% rule. Let's talk about something that separates the mentally strong from everyone else. It's not motivation. It's not luck. It's not talent, it's discipline. And here's the brutal truth. Most people don't have it. They start something, get excited for a few days, and then they stop. They want results, but they don't want the consistency it takes to get there. They wait for motivation to kick in, but motivation is temporary. It disappears the moment things get hard. The strongest minds? They don't rely on motivation. They rely on discipline. What is discipline, really? Discipline is simple. It's doing what you said you were going to do, even when you don't feel like it. That's it, no excuses, no negotiations. Mentally strong people have one rule. They don't break promises to themselves. Think about it. If you tell yourself you're going to wake up early, and you don't, who just lost? If you tell yourself you'll work out, and you skip it, who just lost? It's not about anyone else. It's about you versus you. Because every time you break your own word, you teach your brain that it's okay to quit. But every time you follow through, even when it's hard, you build a mindset that says, I do what I say. No matter what. That's the difference between the weak and the strong. The 1% rule. The secret to staying disciplined. One of the biggest mistakes people make, they try to change everything at once. They wake up and say, starting today, I'm going to wake up at 5 a.m., work out every day, eat perfectly, read 50 books, and become a millionaire by Friday. And what happens? They burn out. They quit. And they go right back to their old habits. Here's a better way. The 1% rule. Instead of trying to change everything overnight, just focus on getting 1% better every single day. If you want to work out, start with 10 minutes a day. If you want to wake up early, move your alarm back by 15 minutes. If you want to read more, read just 1 page a day. It feels small, it feels slow, but over time, small changes turn into massive transformations. Because success isn't built in a day. It's built in the tiny, boring, daily decisions that most people aren't willing to make. Personal story. How I went from undisciplined to unstoppable. I used to be that person who relied on motivation. Insert personal story. Maybe you struggled with consistency, kept quitting new habits, or couldn't stick to your goals. Talk about the turning point when you finally understood that discipline, not motivation, was the key. At first, I hated the idea of discipline. It felt restrictive. But then I realized discipline is freedom. Because when you have discipline, you don't need motivation. When you have discipline, you don't waste energy on decisions. You just do the work. When you have discipline, you control your life instead of life controlling you. And that's when everything changed for me. Action step for you. Right now, pick 1 habit you want to improve, not 10, not 5. Just 1. Then ask yourself, what's the smallest step I can take today? How can I get 1% better starting now? Commit to that. Show up every day, even when you don't feel like it. Because at the end of the day, you either have excuses or results. And mentally strong people, they choose results. Now, let's move on to secret number 6. Secret number 6, master your emotions. Why feelings can't be trusted. Have you ever made a decision based on emotions, only to regret it later? You snap at someone in anger. You give up on something because you feel discouraged. You skip an important task because you don't feel like it. And then later, when your emotions settle down, you realize that was a mistake. This is why mentally strong people have one rule. They don't trust their emotions blindly. Why? Because feelings lie. Your emotions are like the weather, always changing. One day you feel motivated. The next you don't. One day you're excited about your goal. The next you feel overwhelmed. And if you let emotions control your decisions, you'll never be consistent. Mentally strong people know this. That's why they act based on logic, not just feelings. They don't say, I don't feel like working out, so I'll skip it. They say, I made a commitment, so I'm doing it anyway. They don't say, I feel discouraged, so I'll quit. They say, I expected this feeling, but I'll keep going. They don't say, I feel anxious, so I won't take action. They say, I feel anxious, but I'll act anyway. The 5-second rule, how to override your emotions. There's a trick to beating emotional impulses. It's called the 5-second rule by Mel Robbins, and it works like this. 1. The moment you feel resistance, count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. 2. Take action before your brain has time to talk you out of it. It sounds simple, but it's powerful. Because when you give yourself too much time to think, your brain starts making excuses. I'm too tired. I'll do it later. It's not the right time. But if you move within 5 seconds, your brain doesn't have time to sabotage you. Personal story, the time I let my emotions control me. I used to be the kind of person who let emotions run my life. Insert personal story. Maybe you made a bad decision in anger. Let fear stop you from taking an opportunity, or let self-doubt keep you from acting. I thought my emotions were the truth. But then I realized emotions are temporary, but the consequences of my decisions are permanent. That's when I started training myself to act based on logic, not feelings. Did I always feel like doing the hard things? No. But I did them anyway. Did I always feel like showing up? No. But I did it anyway, and over time, that's what built my mental strength. Action step for you. Next time you feel resistance, do this. 1. Count down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 2. Take action before your brain makes excuses. It doesn't matter if you feel tired, scared, or unmotivated, because the strongest people, they take action anyway. Now let's move on to the final secret. Secret number 7. Never stop adapting. How to become mentally bulletproof. Let's get something straight. Life will never go as planned. You will fail. You will lose things you care about. You will face setbacks that you never saw coming. And the question isn't if challenges will happen, it's how you'll respond when they do. Most people break when life doesn't go their way. Mentally strong people, they adapt. Why adaptability? Mental strength. The most resilient people in the world have one thing in common. They don't fight change. They don't waste time wishing things were different. They don't sit around complaining about how unfair life is. Instead, they say, okay. This happened. Now what? They shift their mindset from why me to what's next, because staying stuck in the past is weakness. But adapting to the present, that's strength. The story of people who refuse to break. Think about the people who've overcome the worst situations imaginable. Nelson Mandela. Spent 27 years in prison but came out stronger, not bitter. Viktor Frankl. Survived the Holocaust and turned his pain into purpose. Thomas Edison. Failed 10,000 times before inventing the light bulb. What do they all have in common? They didn't fight reality. They adapted, adjusted, and kept moving forward. And that's why they became legends. Personal story. The time I had to adapt or give up. I had a moment in my life where I felt completely lost. Insert personal story. Maybe you faced a major setback, lost an opportunity, or had to pivot when things didn't go as planned. At first, I resisted. I kept thinking, this isn't fair. This isn't how it was supposed to go. But then I realized I had two choices. 1, stay stuck and let it break me. 2, adapt, adjust, and make a new plan. I chose to adapt. And looking back, that moment, the moment I stopped resisting change and started embracing it, was when I became mentally unshakable. How to train yourself to be adaptable. If you want to build an unstoppable mindset, you need to train yourself to embrace change, not fear it. Here's how. 1, expect challenges. Expect. Don't be surprised when things go wrong. Be ready for it. 2, ask, what's next? Instead of complaining, focus on your next move. 3, pivot, don't panic. If plan A doesn't work, create plan B, C, and D. Because life is always changing, and the strongest people, they don't get left behind. They adapt and keep moving forward. Action step for you. Right now, think about a situation in your life where things didn't go as planned. Then ask yourself, am I resisting reality or am I adapting to it? What's one step I can take right now to adjust and move forward? Because at the end of the day, life doesn't get easier. You just get stronger. And that's what mental toughness is all about. Now, let's wrap this up. Conclusion. Final message call to action. So, let's bring it all together. The 7 secrets to mental strength. 1. Embrace discomfort. Growth happens in pain. Run toward it, not away. 2. Rewrite your inner dialogue. Your words shape your reality. Choose them wisely. 3. Control the uncontrollable. Focus only on what's in your hands. Let go of the rest. 4. Develop laser-like focus. Your attention is your power. Guard it. 5. Build unbreakable discipline. Motivation fades. Discipline is forever. 6. Master your emotions. Feelings lie. Logic wins. 7. Never stop adapting. Life will change. The strong adjust and keep moving. Final personal story. The moment I finally understood mental strength. I didn't always have this mindset. Insert a closing personal story. A defining moment where you applied these lessons and saw the results in your life. But the day I stopped making excuses, the day I stopped waiting for motivation, the day I decided to control what I could, ignore what I couldn't, and keep moving forward no matter what. That was the day I became mentally strong. And if you're still here watching this, then I know one thing about you. You have it in you too. Final call to action. Now, it's your turn. Drop a comment below and tell me, which of these 7 secrets are you going to start using today? And if this video helped you, hit the like button and share it with someone who needs to hear this. Because mental strength isn't built in a day, but if you commit to these principles. One day you'll wake up and realize that nothing can break you anymore. And that's when you'll know you've won. Final thoughts. This ending brings everything full circle. Powerful, inspiring, and action-driven. Now your script is complete. A fully engaging, structured, and emotionally compelling video that will deeply connect with your audience. What do you think? Do you love it, or do you want any final tweaks? Conclusion. Final message. Call to action. Let's take a moment to really let this sink in. Mental strength isn't something you're born with. It's not reserved for a special group of people. It's built. Through every challenge you face, every moment of self-doubt, every time life tries to knock you down, you have a choice. You can let it break you. Or you can use it to make you stronger. And if you've made it this far, I know something about you. You're not like most people. You're not looking for an easy way out. You're ready to step up and build a mind that's stronger than your emotions, stronger than your fears, and stronger than any obstacle that comes your way. The 7 secrets that will change everything. Let's go over them one last time. 1. Embrace discomfort. Stop avoiding the hard things. That's where real growth happens. 2. Rewrite your inner dialogue. Your words shape your mindset. Speak strength into yourself. 3. Control the uncontrollable. Focus only on what you can change. Let go of the rest. 4. Develop laser-like focus. Protect your attention. Your future depends on it. 5. Build unbreakable discipline. Do what you said you would, even when you don't feel like it. 6. Master your emotions. Your feelings are not the truth. Choose logic over impulse. 7. Never stop adapting. Life will change. The strongest minds adjust and keep moving. Now ask yourself, which of these 7 secrets do you need to start applying today? Because nothing changes if nothing changes. Final personal story, the moment. It all clicked. I didn't always have this mindset. I wasn't always disciplined, focused, or mentally strong. Insert final personal reflection. Maybe a moment where you truly applied all 7 secrets and saw transformation in your own life. But the day I stopped looking for the easy way out. The day I took responsibility for my mindset. The day I realized that strength isn't about what happens to me, but how I respond. That's the day I became unbreakable. And you can too. Your next step, call to action. Right now, I want you to do something. Drop a comment below and tell me, which of these 7 secrets are you committing to today? Because commitment starts with action. Say it, claim it, own it. And if this video helped you, hit that like button and share it with someone who needs to hear this today. Because mental strength isn't built in a day. But if you commit to these principles, if you show up every day and do the work, one day, you'll wake up and realize nothing can break you anymore. And that's when you'll know you've won. Final words. You are stronger than you think. You are capable of more than you believe. And your mindset, it will determine everything. So go. Be strong, be relentless, and never ever stop growing. I'll see you in the next one. Final thoughts on this conclusion. This wraps up the video in a powerful, emotional, and action-driven way. It reinforces the message, engages the audience, and pushes them to take real action in their own lives. I kept it direct, impactful, and personal. The kind of ending that leaves people thinking long after the video is over. Let me know if you want any final adjustments. Otherwise, this script is ready to go.